Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Chit Chat with my mom. And who is my mom? My mom is Wendy Cicchetti, world-renowned astrologer. And every few weeks, we try to put these videos out to give you the updates and what's going on astrologically in the world and how it's impacting us and really what's going on. But first and foremost, if you want to stay connected, click the link below. Also, like and subscribe. And you'll get notified of all of the fantastic videos that keep coming out and what we're doing to stay updated on all of the astrological events that are happening. Also, if you're interested in private readings, same thing, you can contact the emails below. My mom does the most amazing, in-depth, powerful, empowering readings. So if you're looking to go a little bit step deeper into yourself and what your gifts are and how to use your gifts to overcome your challenges, this would be great for you. Also, all types of readings, like family, constellation kind of readings. You know, if you're interested in who you're dating and you want to know more about what that would look like, all different types of stuff.
Yeah.
So just make sure you like, subscribe, and you can also go to the website that's listed below and become a part of the newsletter, which is awesome because you send out a celestial update every couple weeks or once a month, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be sending one out tomorrow. Yeah.
So there you go. You go. And that's free. So, Mom, tell us, give us the lowdown, because you guys, things have been heavy for a long time, and you know it, you feel it. So what's happening now? Where are we at?
Well, we'll first talk about, this super full moon in Aquarius that's tomorrow, okay? And it's Aquarius moon, Leo sun. And that's kind of an interesting combination that we want to talk about. But first, let me tell you what a super moon is. A supermoon is when the moon is closest to the sun. So the gravitational pull of the moon is stronger. Sometimes, you look out and look at the moon, and sometimes it looks so much bigger, and that's just because it's closer to the earth. And that's called a supermoon. So this is the second of 4 supermoons in a row, which I think is really interesting. So again, stronger gravitational pull on the earth. Now, the other thing about this moon is we have Aquarius, which is the head, higher mind functions, and we have Leo, which represents the heart, which is love. Okay, so we've got head and heart. Now, the head or the mind is connected to space and time, but the heart is connected with source. Heart is what connects us to the spirit. So we have this head heart thing going on right now. So you might check into that tomorrow during this moon and maybe make an intention to really start coming from the heart more. And I think we're going to talk more about that as this goes on, this video goes on. The other thing you want to think about is, are you going to live in fear? Or are you going to live in love? When people get too much into their mind, they get fearful. They overthink things. Oh my gosh, what about this? Oh my gosh, what about that? But if you can sink into your heart and just be in gratitude and thank God that everything is handled and taken care of, and, listen for what instructions you may get, it'll make going through these challenging times much easier,
Yeah.
Come at things from the right perspective.
And also, the new moon or the full moon is a really great time and opportunity to set the intention to let things go, to release things from your life, to actually consciously, what do you need to let go of right now? What do you want to have leave your life with the most, I remember when we were doing our full moon ceremonies with you years back when I was living in LA. And part of that is, that the way that you set the intention is like, there might be something you want out of your life, but just to make the claim, you know what, I release this from my life, that you might want to follow it up with, no harm to anyone in the easiest and
possible
most gentle way possible, because you have to be careful what you ask for, because sometimes it's a slap in the face. So just make sure when you set your intentions of what you want to let go of, that it's done in the most gentle way and for your highest good.
Right.
So another really great time right now is setting those intentions of what you want to release in your life.
And what happens is, when the moon is full for the next 2 weeks, it gets less and less light until it gets to the new moon, which we don't see the moon. Okay. And that's the visual of having your things go away. Setting your intention when the moon's full so that all of the things you want to release are gone by the new moon. So that's a really good exercise to have. And then at the new moon, then you do what intentions and what things that you want to manifest into your life. So that's the cycle. And people, this is an ancient cycle. This isn't anything new. Our forefathers have been doing these exercises and, planting from the phases of the moon and all kinds of things from the phases of the moon. So it's a wonderful, healthy exercise and practice. Now, a very important thing right now is to watch and to become aware of your response patterns. We all, from childhood, we develop habitual response patterns for protection. We build up these walls of responses based on protection. But as we mature, then we want to start waking up to those response patterns and determining if they're productive or not. Okay. So you always, before you respond, you always have this pause, this few seconds to where you can choose your response. And there's so many things right now to respond to, I know, but if you can stop and be aware of your thinking and push any negative feelings down, damaging feelings, and respond particularly from a place of love or empathy. Your response patterns literally determine your destiny. And if you keep doing the same things you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always got. You have to change something. You have to become aware of how your thought patterns and your response patterns are creating your life. So stop, take that pause before you respond and learn to respond from a position that's much better for you than maybe what you have been. Okay. I'm going to do a video, and I thought about this on the actual steps to enlightenment. And they're very, and I just read about this not too long ago and loved it. And I thought everybody might really like to hear that. What are the steps? What happens to you in your thought processes, in your behavior, as you achieve each step in the process of awakening and becoming the best you can be? So I'm going to do that. That might be my next video. Okay, so now you can change your reality by your thoughts, words, and actions from negative to positive. Now, I know in the world, there's a lot to be negative about, but there's still a lot of positive things out there, a lot of beauty in the world. Don't let the negative overcome or overshadow your ability to see the beauty. Okay. But your words are important. So use high frequency words. If you're using words like hate and evil and dark, those are all low frequency words, just don't use them. Use higher frequency words like everything's beautiful. It's positive. It's wonderful. Look at this. I love this about you. I like that about you. All of those kinds of things are positive and keeps your frequency high. And we all have to be really, really aware of where our frequency is right now with how negative things are in the world. We've got to go like this, and really raise our frequency. So happiness, gratitude, love, joy, bliss. I like this. I like that. I love this. I like that. Those kinds of things are very, very helpful. So that's what's going on with the moon. So take that time tomorrow when the moon is exact to spend time working on your words, and your thought patterns and your response patterns. Okay. So now Venus went retrograde on the 22nd. A lot of you may have heard about it, and it went retrograde in Leo. Now that's really important. Now, normally Venus is retrograde for a month. I mean, it goes through a sign in a month, but because of the retrograde, it's going to be in Venus for almost 4 months. That's a lot. Okay. So this is a time to deal with relationships. Okay. This is a powerful, powerful time. First of all, don't start a new relationship when Venus is retrograde. Don't do it. Everyone that I've known who has, it has fallen out. So wait until the retrograde is over. So the other thing is that things about your current relationships that maybe have never been healed are going to come up to be healed. Whatever the cracks are in the relationship, they're going to come up. And this is an opportunity to heal those relationships, okay? It's a time for growth. We need to take a good look at things that maybe we've swept under the rug and haven't taken a look at before. And it also could be that someone may come into your life from the past. You know, if you're available, maybe somebody will show up from high school or something, some relationship from the past that might be good for you when Venus goes direct. So anyway, this also has a lot to do with what's going on with the entertainment industry, the performance industry. Leo rules that. And I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. You know, the writer's strike and the actor's strike, and, you know, some of your favorite shows, you may be canceled here for a while. But I think it's going to be a while, because, and I'll tell you why. Because more and more things that aren't good are coming out of Hollywood, coming out of Disney. And I think a lot of those things have got to be cleared out before it can move forward again. I mean, from child problems with children, you know, and a lot of this, you know, trans agenda and all of this woke stuff that they're putting in everything. And, you know, people are not liking it. And that's why, you know, these movies that they're putting out that are full of that stuff, they're losing tons and millions of dollars. Disney's down like $900 million with their last 2 movies because of the things that they're putting in these movies, and the general public just does not like them. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be stirred up, taken a look at, and changed. And I think it's going to be a while before these things are resolved, especially with the Venus retrograde. So now another thing that's interesting is that Venus retrograde makes what's called a yod. And this yod is, it's like this, okay? So here up here is Venus retrograde, and down here is Neptune retrograde and Pluto retrograde. And this configuration is called the finger of God. And it is very, very powerful. This is a big emotional time. It's can of worms information is coming out. And of course, we're seeing that more and more. Events of a very fateful nature are coming up. And the veils of illusion are coming down. And we're seeing that, aren't we? Okay. It's going to help clear the air. But once all of this takes place, the world is not going to be the same. You know, when all this information comes out and people see the truth of things, the veils are lifted, it's going to be pretty dicey. Can of worms is it's a good one, you know, to deal with that. Now, I've talked many times before about Mars being the trigger. You know, people want to know, well, okay, you know, Mars is in this particular alignment. Well, how come nothing happened? Well, it's because Mars is the trigger. It's very difficult to determine exactly what will happen and exactly when it will happen. But we know that those energies have been triggered by Mars. Okay, so what we have here is Mars in Virgo. Okay, and it moved into Virgo on July 10th. And this is a time with Mars in Virgo. Let me tell you what Mars in Virgo means. It has to do with health. It has to do with diet, what you eat, what you grow. It has to do with cooking. It has to do with infectious disease. Interesting, huh? So this is a time to take extra good care of yourself. Strengthen your immune system, whatever it takes, with zinc and all kinds of, fruits and all kinds of natural things out there to strengthen your immune system. Exercise and eat healthy. Who knows what disease may be unleashed just around the corner? They've already talked about, be careful. They've put the fear out there. Be careful. Something else is going to come. Well, you want to be prepared for it in advance. Strengthen your immune systems. Who knows what? And we all in our prayers are saying, please protect us from that kind of intervention, but we never know. So you want to be ready and prepared for that. Prep, have what you need to be healthy. I think we've got just a little bit of time left to prepare before some of these bigger things happen. So do that, take care of yourself. Now, let's see. Okay, here are the other Mars aspects, okay? Mars right now at this full moon is in Jupiter, is trine Jupiter, which is really good. It means good timing for growth and opportunity. Mars in a soft, happy aspect with Jupiter is really good. So whatever you may want to accomplish, this is a good time for it, to know the right timing, to feel the right timing and set things in motion, okay? And then on the 16th, we have Mars trine Uranus. Now this is not a happy one like the Mars Jupiter. This can mean earth changes. It can mean earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, more of that, okay? And so Uranus is called the awakener. It's intense. It has to do with events that shake the earth. And I've been hearing a lot of things about not just shaking the earth, but shaking of governments, shaking of big business, shaking of religion, clearing out all the stuff that no longer serves us. And things need to be shaken up in order for that to happen, right? So, okay, then on the 22nd, we have Mars in opposition to Neptune. Now, anytime Mars and Neptune get together, it's really wacky energy. It's not a fun energy. And so it can mean toxins in our world, and we've got a lot of toxins we know we're dealing with. It can also mean drug problems, okay? We've got a lot of that happening too. There's disease potential with Mars, Neptune energy. Feeling weak with an inability to cope. That's huge. I think people sometimes are just getting tired and they just feel like, how can we keep carrying on in this crazy world, with these wacky things we keep hearing about. And so, but the other part of it is a great spiritual awakening. Mars, Neptune rules spirituality. And so if you've got the rest of it together and you've been able to control your the fear quotient, you don't let it bother you anymore. You just recognize they've weaponized it and it's just a distraction. It's just to keep your mind away from other important things, that there really is nothing to fear and you're not consumed by fear. Then you can have a real spiritual awakening because your frequency's higher. When you're in fear, your frequency's low. And when there isn't any fear and you just shake your head and laugh at it, then you can really get into some spiritual depth. And that's what we want right now. Now, Mars is trine Pluto on the 24th. Now, this is a hard one also. It's called a hard aspect. And this
is this all happening in a month?
This is all happening in August.
And it moves through all of these planets in a month.
Yep.
Holy moly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're on to the next planet that it's
right. Mars is trining Pluto, retrograde. Okay, Pluto is retrograde. And this happens on the 24th. And this is the ability that we may have to contend against difficult odds. Maybe some brutality and conflict, ruthlessness, a desire to achieve your goals at all costs. And when I think of that, I think of the globalists. They're doing anything and everything. They're afraid. They know there's more of us than them. And they're doing everything that they can to keep us in fear and to destroy us. And so around the 24th, that might just click things, into motion. We won't maybe see the extent of it at that time. Maybe we will. I don't know. It's really hard to judge. But expect some ruthlessness at that point in time. Now, then on the 30th, we have Mars in what's called a quincunx, which is a hard aspect to Saturn. Now, Mars actually moved into Libra out of Virgo on the 27th. Okay. And it moved, it's now on the 30th, it's about 3 degrees of Libra, and Saturn is at 3 degrees of Pisces in its retrograde also. So this is an unsettling energy. Doesn't feel good. Difficulty with government authority, inhibited action, anger and frustration, vitriol and chaos. So you can see how things are really kind of building in August. It's a tough, these Mars aspects are tough, and they're just triggers. And we've got, like 6 of them, one right after another in this month. So another power-packed aspect is we have Pluto, retrograde Pluto, is in a square to the nodes of the moon. These aren't planets. These are points that are sensitive points for the world. And what this represents is evolutionary changes. Pluto with the nodes, hello. And it's activating where we are going as a collective. And this is going to be in orb with the nodes, Pluto and the nodes, until December. So it's a while that, again, these things are ramping up. This is, and continues to December. It's power struggles with authority. Hello. Hello, world. I mean, look what's happening all over the world. People are sick and tired. They don't want anything to do with the fascism anymore, and the tyranny anymore, and the communism anymore. People want freedom. And we see what's happened in other countries in Europe, and it's pretty intense, very intense. So people are standing in their power around the world, and that's what Pluto represents: power. How you use your power, how we as humanity are going to use our power as we move forward in the world. Okay. So this is interesting. So if you start feeling very rebellious, understand where it's coming from. Of course, I've been rebellious all my life, but But that's what's going on with Pluto in the nodes. And there's so much more, we could go into all the little minute details over and over, but just know that it has to do with making choices for humanity as a collective as we move forward. Now, remember, Pluto right now is at the very end degrees of Capricorn. It's already gone into Aquarius for a short period of time, and then it retrograded back into Capricorn. It's finishing up its business with government, big business, big anything, money. The last degrees of a sign, they're called the anaretic degrees, are the ones where they dig their heels in to finish the work. And that's what's happening. That's what we're seeing, so much destruction with governments, and so many people resigning. Have you noticed that? Have you been watching that in the news? Now, I don't know if they talk about it in mainstream news, because I never listened to that, but in other news, they're heads of companies, CEOs, big people. Some big person from Disney just resigned too, I saw last week. I don't remember the details. Yeah, but lots of people resigning, and that's part of this. Cleansing.
Interesting.
Cleansing has to take place. Okay. Now,
got to take the trash out.
Yeah, exactly. Take out the garbage.
Get out the garbage. We don't need them anymore.
Well, now, by the way, Pluto. Oh, let me get to that in a minute. Let's talk about retrograde planets. This is really interesting. Okay. Right now, we have 4 retrograde planets. Before Venus went retrograde on the 22nd, we had Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto retrograde. And then Venus went retrograde. So we have 4 planets retrograde. Well, on the 24th of August through September 15th, Mercury goes retrograde. 5 retrograde planets. And then on the 29th, Uranus goes retrograde. So we're going to have 6 retrograde planets for a period of time.
What does being retrograde mean? Now, I know it means it appears it's going backwards.
Right. It changes.
What does that mean?
Changes the energy. It intensifies the energy, makes it more concentrated. Okay. And oftentimes it brings up things from the past to get repaired and healed. And that's what's happening right now in the world. We're bringing up all this stuff, from the past, and people have to see it. You cannot fix things unless you see that they're there. If you don't see a problem, how are you going to spend any time or energy fixing it? It's just like the trafficking issues, in that movie Sounds of Freedom. It's opened people's eyes so acutely to the truth of what's really going on. And that's what it takes, is seeing it. And so retrograde planets bring it more because it's more concentrated, so that you see the things from the past, the dark, all that stuff that's been hidden. And so now another interesting part of this, okay, now Uranus goes retrograde on the 29th, and that's the 6th one. And then on, let's see, it's Venus goes direct on September 3rd. And the next day, Jupiter goes retrograde. So it's like, 7 retrogrades is like, once in many, many years does that happen. But we almost got it this time, even if it's just for a day or two. But no, Jupiter goes retrograde right after Venus goes direct. And so we will have, again, and continue to have all those retrogrades, 6 retrogrades for some time. I'm trying to think if I wrote down how long it will be. Sometime.
So this is just an amplification of the energy of these planets and what they come to do and to bring and to shift. It's just amplifying that even more.
Right. And so we'll have those 6 retrogrades until Pluto goes direct on October 11th. So that's a long period of time of these heavy duty energies. Okay. And then there will be 5 retrogrades after that for quite some time. So typically the outer planets are retrograde for about 5 months. So I'm assuming in the spring, you know, we won't have all these retrogrades, but you know, the way I look at it, it's for a reason. We need to see things. We need to see what's going on, not only what's being revealed, but what secrets, I mean, like what has been hidden for so long that's now coming out. Yeah, I guess that we would call those secrets revealed, but other things maybe that haven't been so secret that are finally being talked about. And that people are going, oh, this really was an issue. And we just, but remember too, there are so many distractions. In fact, when I hear stuff, it just makes me laugh, like all the stuff about UFOs. You know, that's just a false flag. That's what there are 3 terms.
They're preparing us for something.
Right. Distraction, false flag, or psyops. So all of these big things that come out, like these, you know, hearings on UFOs, it's all just a distraction. And it was been so interesting to hear that the news media, the people are like, oh, they don't even give a crap anymore. It's like they don't care. They don't care. People are just going, okay, another false flag. They're trying to take the attention away from what's going on in the real important things in the congressional hearings. So they put all this other stuff out there. But, you know, you just have to, you know.
It's constant smoke and mirrors, baby. Smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. And that's why sometimes I love to watch, every now and then I'll watch the mainstream news just to get a laugh and to see what kind of lies and how they're trying to distract us and what garbage they're feeding us. And it's and what they're not talking about.
Right.
Like there's so much stuff that is not covered. And I'm just like, wow, they really, and no wonder they're falling apart. Like,
yeah, huge.
Like very few people watch those anymore. I mean, you look at like a Joe Rogan or someone that's getting millions of people listening to each episode. Yeah. And then you get like a mainstream, you know, network show that might get 1 million people, 500,000 people. That's like their max.
But what they used to get is going down and down and down.
Yep.
And I think there's going to be before too long a complete shakeup in the media. Complete shakeup in the media. They just, because they're losing money. They're corporations. Corporations they're beholden to their stock, to their boards, to the people who run their boards. If they're not profitable, then they're going to try and come up with anything they can think of to be profitable. And like this, they're learning that the woke agenda isn't doing it. They thought it was going to do it. It's not. It's going the other way. Why they say go woke, go broke, you know. But you know, they're pushing in every way to make as much money as they can. That's what a corporation is all about. And these big corporate conglomerates, they're being shaken up. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if all of them fell apart. I know that Tucker Carlson's starting a new media group, you know, and more power to him and anybody else who does it. You know, I love Joe Rogan and these people that are, you know, just seriously and honestly, you know, listening to what other people have to say without
having real conversation and debate and
and rather than censorship. Know that if they're censoring it, it's true. They don't want you to know it's true. Censorship is just to prevent you from hearing the truth. Okay, very important to them that you don't hear the truth. And so you want to listen to places that don't have the censorship. They don't care about anything if it isn't true. They're not going to do anything about something that isn't true. They're looking to censor that which is truth that they want to hide. So crazy stuff out there. So now Remember that the US is in their Pluto return right now. And the Pluto return is in the second house of money. And it's been there for a period of time, but Pluto moves very slow. So it's taking a while. It's doing its final business. But, you know, everybody is worried about their money. I know that's probably what people fear the most. And so what we want to do, and we want to remember in our prayers, is to thank God that our money is protected and that the new systems that are created will be to our benefit, will be wonderful for us. You know, envision what you want. And like Misty and I were talking about it, about abundance before, about, tell them what you do, Misty. I think that's so great.
Well, I just have found that it's like I've always struggled with affirmations. They've never worked for me because I feel like I'm trying to convince myself of something I don't truly believe. Like I have lots of money. I make $50,000 a month. I am healthy. And I realized that if you don't really believe it, it's just words, and the words have to have power, and the language of the universe is frequency, and that comes from your emotion and what you put into it. That's the language of the universe, is frequency and vibration. And so it's really important that if you have affirmations, turn them into statements of feeling. So like, it feels so good to have all that I need. And we've all known that. You've known a time in your life where you've had all that you need, so you can connect with that feeling and it's real for you. So that's a real statement. It does feel good to have everything that you need. It feels so good to have all the money that you need. It feels so good that your money's protected. That feels so good knowing that there's people in your life you can trust. It feels so good. Like, that's what I mean. Create your, like you were saying earlier, I like this, I like that. It's the same thing. That really makes me feel good. Like when I look at a sunset, I'm like, I can't believe how good this makes. Oh my God, this feels so good. And tap into the feeling of it, which is the frequency and the vibration of it. And that's what gives it power, I believe. So any of your affirmations, turn them into feeling statements, how good it feels to have, or how good it feels to be,
Right.
you know,
And
like
feel the feeling.
peaceful. I like, yeah, and feel the feelings. Like something like this that you can all relate to is like, peaceful resolution is orgasmic. Clarity is orgasmic. When you're clear on something, doesn't it feel so good? I love to use those kind of words, like clarity. Inspiration is orgasmic. I love being inspired. It feels so good to be inspired. It's orgasmic when I get inspired. So that's what I mean. Like, tune into the highest frequency of what it is that you want by claiming it in your feeling, and create the feeling in your body. And
Yeah.
it's like money, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And so we all need lessons in that. Some of us haven't been very good at it. And so we need to hear from somebody who has made it work, and Misty has made it work. So that's a wonderful thing. So there will be changes, but we want to just feel that everything that changes is for our benefit, and it's so good, and we're so abundant, and we love it, and we feel that. And so that's what we need to be doing, all of us. Now, many astrologers are predicting major changes, earth-altering changes, through August and September. These certainly are unusual and potent aspects, these ones I've been talking about today, and these transits. It is very difficult, though, like I've said, to predict exactly what will happen and exactly when it will happen. But it is critical for all of us to do the necessary connecting to raise our frequency. During these times, don't be caught up with fear. You know, just don't do it. Know that you're protected and that your family's protected. Feel those feelings of protection and love, and strengthen your bodies, you know, raise your frequencies, build your immune systems, you know, all those things, and prepare for any difficult contingency. We just don't know, but it's wise and smart to be prepared for whatever. Now, I do a little practice that's very powerful, and I got it from the little book, and I love this little book. I'm reading it again. It's so packed. It's called The Wisdom of the Broken Heart by Lars Muehl. And he does this little practice, And it goes with the breath. The in breath, you go, I am, out breath, love. In breath, I am love. I am love. Now you can do it that way, or you can do it, I am love, in breath. I am love, out breath. And just spend some time in that. Now, this is what he says about this. And one thing I like about Lars Muehl is he doesn't just tell you something. He doesn't tell you anything he has not personally experienced. And that's what I really respect about him. But he says this, no matter what, where, or with whom, this prayer will transform any type of crisis, heal any type of illness, and disperse any type of opposition. Isn't that interesting? Spend some time with it. Practice it. What have you got to lose? Nothing.
Well,
So,
I was just doing it when you were saying it. Like I was, as you were saying it, I was closing my eyes and I was feeling it. And just even in those few breaths, the sensation in my body was lovely. It was like, whoa, that's lovely. Yeah, like you said, sit with it. Just even a couple deep breaths. I mean, I recommend sitting with it for longer, but even just for a moment, just feeling what it feels like. I am love. There's another one, Ram Dass.
he's a great.
He's amazing, but he has a meditation that's amazing where he just repeats over and over, I am loving awareness.
Yeah.
I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. And he just repeats for like 15 minutes. He just repeats it over and to sit and listen to it. You do. It's like, it's that same kind of thing. I am love. I am love. Like it's beautiful. So find those things. Maybe you can add that to your, I'll find it for you. The meditation. I know it's free. It's on Spotify. And it might be called that I am loving awareness by Ram Dass, but
That's
it's
good.
fantastic. And it really just makes you go deep because that beautiful that you're not just love, but you're also the loving awareness. It's the awareness. It's how you see and to see the world through love.
Right. And that's what
You
we
know?
do. And every day I say, thank you, God, that I see the world through love. I see everything through love. My eyes are eyes of love. And that's what we want to do.
Yeah. I'm not there yet.
Well, all of us are struggling with it, but this is a way to bring that frequency into our bodies and
Yeah.
our life.
And it takes practice.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does take practice. Now, this is the time, guys, to stay strong. Don't be swayed from what you know to be true. Don't succumb to the contrived fear and keep your focus on your frequency and the God of your understanding. Use your discernment. If you feel there is something untrue or wrong, don't comply. Especially out of fear, do not comply. Stay strong. Remember, the founders of the U.S. country were considered insurrectionists and were all guilty of treason. I think that's so funny. A lot of people don't realize that that's what they were considered. They gave their fortunes and their sacred honor to do whatever they had to do to create this country, the United States. They gave everything. And aren't we grateful? And now those that lead us are doing everything to destroy it.
It's so disgusting to watch.
It is. So
it's sad.
Be strong. Hold the line. Don't give in. Don't comply.
Don't believe the hype.
Don't believe the hype. Just remember, I always tell you, be emotionally neutral. Don't let their fear mongering affect you at all. Just stay in that love energy and protect yourself. But you do need to prepare. You do need to take good care of yourself. That whole thing, faith without works is dead. I mean, you got to have faith that you'll be protected. But it was like that guy who said, I got my new car and I wanted to drive at 150 miles an hour, so I just prayed I'd be safe while I did it. Crash, No, we do what we know we should do to prepare. And my grandfather always used to say, work like it's all up to you and pray like it's all up to God. I love that, you know. So we got to take care of ourselves. We got to do the right things and then pray that we will be protected and blessed, and that we can bless the lives of other people as we do it, right?
Yep.
We will be strong to help other people, that they'll look to us for strength. That's the goal. That's the I am love. You know,
Yep.
seeing the world.
And if you don't know what to do or how to protect yourself, another great statement is, it feels so good to know what to do. It feels so good to be guided and to be directed in what I need and what I need to do to prepare. And that I always like to add and I love it when it's obvious and it's super simple, because I have a hard time, you know, me as a Libra, like it's difficult for me to make up my mind. So I always have to add that it's obvious, make it so blatantly obvious. There's no doubt in my mind what it is I need to do. And just that clarity and like that it feels so good to be guided and directed and to know what to do, and that I have what I need to do what I need to do. Like, you know, and you do. You have to have faith, and you have to trust, and like you said, eventually all of this too shall pass.
It will.
This time will pass.
This is all meant to be to transform the world so that things will be better for us in the future.
Yep.
Because we've been heading like this and we need to go in the different direction, you know, and that's what
Got to jump on a new timeline,
a new train, that's for sure. And we
let's all get on
the timelines. We can affect the timelines by our frequency and our positive thinking, and using that and magnifying that thinking, that frequency, by our feeling. Feeling is really the clue.
It's the language.
That's right. And one of the things that I found lately in my meditations are and this just kind of came to me. It just happened when I went through a really particularly difficult situation, that this it's like a wire that came down onto my head with a flame that circulates. It's like a light gold wire, and it just was circulating around my body, and I could feel the heat in the various parts of my body as it circulates. And so I would go clear down to my feet and feel the heat, and then it would go clear up, and then I would have it stay around my heart for an extended period of time, and also stay around my head, my thinking, for an extended period of time. But it made me realize that what we're looking at is a frequency. It was like a wire that was like an electric wire, or like a copper wire, that it was a frequency that we're dealing with. And you know, you can, I guess, visualize it in any way that you feel is right for you. But I felt that it was definitely a loving, God-inspired frequency that was working with me. So now when I do my meditations, I just whip out that wire.
Winning. That's awesome.
So anyway.
Wow.
So
what else?
Any other questions?
What else you got for us?
Oh, that's it for today.
No? Just get ready from all them retrogrades, people. They're coming.
And Mars, retrogrades and Mars.
And Mars, goddamn Mars.
Yeah, and just
anyways,
that love space. That's really important.
Super important.
Be sure and sign up for my newsletter, and sign up for a reading. They're so powerful. They will really, really help you.
They're actually kind of life transformative, and it gives you such a deep aspect in like, not aspect, but a deep insight into these deeper layers of you. And it's not just that, like I said, she doesn't just do a reading, like it's about empowering you with this knowledge and how to use this information to, you know, overcome the challenges in your life. Not just that, but also to find your life purpose. What should you be doing? What should you be focused on? If you're struggling with finding your purpose, if you're struggling with, you know, what is it I'm supposed to be doing? this is one of those things that can really help guide you into the things, and using your gifts and talents to pursue your purpose and who you are and really kind of what you came here to do. You know, like it's kind of, it's just invaluable information. And not
Right.
just that, but for relationships, getting to like the inner aspects of relationships and the layers of the different dynamic of the two different personalities and how they interplay with each other. And you also counsel with that. It's not even just here's the information, there's also counseling available.
Yeah.
So yeah, which is really powerful.
And I
So if
also
you're interested in any of that, oh, go ahead.
locational, person
Ah,
know if it's an appropriate place for them to move. That's really helpful to see how the energies of that place will intermesh with your energy and if it will be a positive situation. So there's lots of really, really good things, but I will tell you this, it's not scary. People think astrology, the things they've seen in the movies and some stupid person in all their regalia saying.
it's not fortune telling.
It's nothing like that. And, but it will transform your life. And I have people tell me that all the time. Thank you. You've transformed my life.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Well, you're my go-to. Mom, what's going on? And not just that, but pretty much all of my friends, my closest people all around the world, they actually talk to you more than they talk to me. Like, and anytime I talk to them, oh my God, I talked to your mom last week. Oh, I've got a meeting with your mom next week. It's like, you talk to my mom more than me. And that's because she's a wise, wise woman with many years of expertise and experience in so many spiritual tools that can help you. So join the newsletter.
And
also, what's that, Mom?
I love doing it. It's what brings joy, is to transform people's lives. I don't just do it. No, I do it because I love it.
Yeah. It's like how I am with dance. Like, it's the thing I was born to do. And I do believe my mom was born to do a lot of things because she's kind of a master of many things. But I think this was a gift that came through her, that it's one of her purposes on this life is to help empower people with this knowledge. And you will benefit greatly. And also, just don't forget to click the link below. And if you just want to keep watching our videos, that's cool too. And getting the updates and signing up for the newsletter. And the one last thing that I think is awesome that you do that's also free is your Spirit Hour on Sundays, which is an hour of prayer. And if that resonates with you and you want to get together with a bunch of other people and join together in your form, whatever it means to you, but the collective power of a group of people together, can you, how do they get involved with
the Spirit Hour? I'll have the link below the video. But we meet for an hour, all different religions. We mute the mic. We have specific things that we pray for, okay? And we mute the mic and everybody prays in the way that they pray. It's so wonderful to feel the intensifying of the energy. It's just so powerful. And we share things with each other too. It's a very hands-on kind of a thing, and we love it. We just absolutely love it.
Yeah. So join for that. It's totally free, and it's just good for your soul.
Yep.
And God, I was going to say one more thing. Lastly, shoot,
dance.
I can't remember. We'll always dance, but it was about not just signing up for your newsletter. Anyways, it'll come, but all the information's below. This is what I wanted to tell you. If you have any questions about astrology or things that you're interested about astrology and you want some deeper insight, contact Mom. Like, she will answer you personally. And then also, if it's something even bigger than that, we can address it on our next call. So if you have and want to submit any questions, please feel free. It helps us a lot too, knowing what you want to know about and what you want to hear about. So thanks again, Mom. That was awesome. You guys have a great couple of weeks. We'll tune back and check back in with you in a couple of weeks and let you know what's going down.
And love to all.
Thanks for being here. See you next time.
Bye.